What's good, my Rags of Fitness people, my Rags of Fitness folks, my Rags of Fitness fam? It's your man Rags, back off up in this thing, and when I tell you I'm up in it, my knees are stuck all the way off up in it. Hey, to all my weight loss journey people, I want to say keep striving for greatness. For all of my Alabama Crimson Tide fans, can I get a roll tide? Roll tide, roll! And to all of my SEC people out there that watched the game last night, can we all give the Georgia Bulldogs a big old congratulations? Congratulations, Georgia Bulldogs. You beat the TCU Horned Frogs by a freaking million points. Hey, and everybody out there in the NCAA football world, let's give TCU a round of applause too for even being there. They was there, but I don't know if they was there. I mean, they was there physically. Now, let's talk about this. Now, I want to give a big shout out, like I said, to the Georgia Bulldogs, man. Listen, hey, no matter what you might think of me and what I might say about the Georgia Bulldogs, man, hey, you did have a good game. Stetson, Bennett had a good game. That defense was marvelous. You know what I mean? It was, hey, that's what you want to see as a defensive-minded person or a person that love to see tackling and stuff like that. That's what you want to see. Turnovers and all, right? TCU, man, I wish you would have showed up and at least gave these guys some kind of football game. Gave us some kind of game to watch. Do you know most of us had to turn the game? Do you know that you had to make most of us get up off the couch, go and find a remote and turn the TV because this wasn't even a comparison of a game that was supposed to be in? On paper, Max Duggan, you were supposed to be that guy. Now, Max Duggan, you have played great football all year long. I can't take that away from you. You was a Heisman Trophy runner-up, right? And, man, I can't fault you, man. You played with what you could play, but that Georgia defense just gave you a fit, and you couldn't hit that. You know who fault it is? You know who I want to blame it on? I want to blame it on this college football playoff committee, because you had no business keeping them dudes at number 3 in the first place. I don't know what you had going on. I think it was something against them boys. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the college landscape, even though SEC, you go to Paul Feinbaum, you ask him, oh no, Alabama shouldn't be in it. No, they don't deserve. They should have took care of business on the field. 10-2 lost team. Put TCU in. All of the people, Joey Galloway, all of the people, Kurt Herbstreit, Lee Corso, all of the Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, all of the people you can think of on ESPN. Oh man, yeah, it's a shoe-in. It don't matter what happens to TCU. I don't care if they lose or not. Don't matter if Kansas State beat them by 100 points. They still deserve to have that number 3 spot and not move at all. But look at the product you put on the field. Look at what you caused on Championship Monday. Look at what you did. It was a blowout. I mean, Georgia Bulldogs dog walked them boys up and down the field. The game was over with in the first quarter. I keep hearing people say the first half it was over with. I turned it at halftime. You should have turned it in the first quarter because it was over with. It was all said and done. Not Stetson Bennett, but Max Duggan threw the one pass, and he threw that behind the guy. If he would have threw that in stride, they would have scored a touchdown right away. They wouldn't have had to run it in with Max Duggan. But that's the only thing, the only bright spot all night with TCU. That 3-3-5 defense, man, they ran through that thing like they was running through a daggone wide open marathon race is what they had going on. They were just running through it. It didn't matter at all. Number 57, the linebacker, just running in there and getting run all the way over. The running backs was bigger than him. The quarterback, the punter was bigger than him. It was just, that's SEC football. And that's what I mean when I tell y'all it's levels to this stuff, man. I hate to keep saying this and for y'all to have to hear me say this, man, but it's levels to this stuff, man. That's what you see when you see the SEC type of football right there. You see what Alabama did to Kansas State. Yeah, you got me up, you woke me up this morning and you woke me. I chose to come over here, and I don't want to say I chose violence, but I chose to tell this college football playoff committee how I really feel about it. And I feel like you made the wrong choice. Now, can we go back? No, we can't go back. We can't go hindsight and go back and say, hey, well, maybe we should have chosen another team. But no, we ain't going to do that. I'm just telling you to do better next year. Because this stuff, what you just put on the field, man, that's embarrassing to all of us. Yeah, I don't blame Sonny Dykes. I don't blame nobody. I blame the college football playoff committee because you shouldn't have did it. You listened to all the rest of the media and you didn't have a mind of your own to say, let me go back and look and see. Let me look at all of this and see, yeah, Bama lost to LSU. Yeah, Bama lost to Tennessee, but dang, man. Who have TCU really beat? They say, oh, Kansas. Oh, they beat Oklahoma State. Oh, hey, they barely lost to Kansas State in the game earlier. Oh, I mean, you just make up anything. Oh, they beat Texas worse than Alabama did. Come on, man. Come on, man. You're just making up anything, and you put that product on the field and you see what happened. Hey, we even have a Georgia Bulldog, former football players come out and say, hey, man, I would have rather play Alabama than to play TCU, man, and maybe it would have been a game. I mean, man, the championship was over once Georgia played Ohio State. That was the actual championship, because to be honest with you, what the College Football Playoff Committee should have done, they should have dropped TCU down. If they were going to do anything, now, honestly, I believe they should have dropped them all the way out of the top 4. But if you didn't just want to move them that much, at least drop them to the number 4 spot. So TCU can play Georgia in the first game, and then you can let Ohio State and Michigan play that game over again. But that's what you didn't want to do. You was worried about that. Oh, we don't want the Big Ten to have to play in a playoff game again against each other. We don't want Michigan and Ohio State playing again. Well, you should have let it happen, because maybe the national championship game would have been a little bit more interesting than what it was. And I hope one of y'all run across this video, because, man, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You ought to be embarrassed that that's what you chose. That don't fall on Sonny Dykes and TCU Horned Frogs. That don't fall on Kirby Smart. That falls on you, playoff committee. I'd have rather you put Kent State in. They did better against Georgia than TCU did. I'd have rather you put Missouri in there. I'd have rather you put Georgia Tech in there than freaking TCU. You see what happened to them? Oh, but they deserve it. They deserve it. Yeah, they was an okay team. They deserve to go to a nice bowl game. But you see what happened when you put them in the national championship. Now, I can talk all day about it. And you can say, hey, man, you're wrong. But when your little 2 eyes, when your 2 ears, when your brain process what you saw on that TV, you saw it, you heard it, you processed it in your brain. And you can still tell me that I'm wrong, that was the right team that should have been playing for the championship game? Come on, man. Now I know I'm gonna get a lot of backsplash on this right here. Everybody ain't gonna agree with what I say. But let me tell you something. I don't believe it. I don't believe they deserve it. I just say, hey, man, well, who you wanted in Alabama? Man, I'd have rather them put Penn State in there. I don't care anybody else besides what I just saw. That was ridiculous. Now that goes to show you the difference of when we say it's levels to this SEC football thing, man. It's levels to this. Look at what we did to Kansas State. Look at what Georgia did to TCU. This is the thing about it, the playoff committee. Listen, you guys been wanting to put one of these smaller teams in there, and that's okay, that's good. TCU haven't been too long ago come from the Mountain West in 2010, 2011, whatever that was, whenever they came, right? They still got a little bit of that Mountain West in them a little bit, right? So they come over in the Big 12 or whatever, and they play okay football, and they benefit from Kansas having a good season. They benefit from Oklahoma State having a good season, Oklahoma having a down season, and this is what you put in there. You say, they deserve to go in there. Man, I'd rather you put freaking Florida State or somebody in there. Well, they wasn't ranked. Well, you need to start ranking them better than what you ranked them then, because that was pitiful. That was ugly. That was nasty. That goes to show you that you can't always go by that 0 or that 1 or that 2 at the end of that name, man. You got to go by more than that. You got to look at the whole body of work. The whole body of work. And I don't think you guys did that. You just saw that they had that 1 and that's it. I'd have rather the BCS been going on right now. I believe the BCS would have chose a better team than you guys chose. That's what I believe. The daggone BCS, out of date, old BCS that you guys hated so much that you created this little playoff system and you just want to go put teams in there. You've been wanting to do this since Boise State beat Oklahoma in that Fiesta Bowl a while back. And hey, a blind squirrel find a nut every now and then, but that don't mean it's gonna keep on happening. I'm not just saying you should put the big brand names in there, but you gotta put something in there that's gonna be a competition. You gotta put something in there that's gonna be a great game for fans to watch. You're gonna keep on and your ratings gonna plummet. You know, a lot of guys are already falling out with college football over this transfer portal and all this other stuff that's going on. You're gonna mess around, this whole thing is gonna plummet, man. You can't keep putting matchups like that in these championship games. Now, y'all, next year, you're gonna have to do better than this. This ain't gonna get it. Because I wasn't able to enjoy the game myself. I went to the store and I got all kinds of stuff, came back. I was gonna watch the game. I said, man, hopefully Max Duggan can make this a game. When I look up, it's daggone 30-something. I mean, the first quarter was over with just about. And you just said, man, TCU play like this all the time. Maybe they can come back and win this game. No, not this time, because Georgia put their foot on your neck and they squished your esophagus. They took all your breath out of you. So, man, I'm just saying this, like I said before. College football playoff committee, man, you're going to have to do better than this. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, they put the best teams in there because they was ranked this and they was ranked that. Well, maybe that's the problem, the rankings. Maybe you need to go back and evaluate how you rank the teams. Maybe sometimes the two-loss team might need to get in there. And when I said two-loss team, I ain't just talking about Alabama. I mean, dang, like I say, Penn State, one of them teams. Looked like USC might have put up a better fight than daggone TCU, and USC really didn't want none of that smoke either. Michigan, it didn't matter after the Ohio State game. And now I'm on record saying this. It didn't matter who Georgia played after that Ohio State game. They was going to trample those guys. Michigan or TCU. Michigan just laid an egg against TCU and just let TCU do them in a kind of way. Now the world is thinking TCU is going to be the team. They're going to be able to beat them. Man, please. There's levels to this. It's level to this. And by the way, I want to say one more time, congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. Good morning. Because I'm up early in the morning recording this video because you had me hot last night. And I just got to give y'all the props that y'all deserve, man. Back-to-back champions. Hey, nobody has done it since the college playoff era. You done it. You got something to brag about. Hey, it is what it is, man. But I'm still, and until the end of time, I'm going to always be saying, roll, tide, roll. I'm out of here already. Yeah.